Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to all parents and educators out there. Alhamdulillah, I'm Azhar, head of Genius Care, creating a safe, warm, and supportive premium childcare for your children. Alhamdulillah, today is our first session for creative and caring parenting in the times of pandemic series. I think we have a few sessions with our management team in Genius Aulad. And today, Alhamdulillah, we have a very, very special guest, the person behind the education team in Genius Aulad, and she is responsible for all the modules that you see in Genius Aulad, Miss Farah, Head of Education. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
How are you, Miss Farah?
Okay, we're coping at home.
Coping?
Yes, coping.
How about our teachers?
Our teachers, alhamdulillah, they're doing quite okay. Now it's school holiday, so the classes are not that heavy. However, starting next week, if this MCO continues, it's gonna be quite heavy, but inshallah our teachers are kind of used to it. It's been like a year, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I guess, Genius Aulad, they're well prepared, inshallah.
Inshallah.
So as you know, we're going to start our series. The first session will be how to make school books alive at home. Wow, that's your topic for today. So can we have you introduce?
Yes.
Can we have you introduce yourself and share with us on how you got into early childhood?
Okay. Wow, that's a long story. I'm trying to make it short though. My name is Farah, or I think people know me as Teacher Farah. I've been in the education industry for actually almost 10 years now since I graduated, and 7 out of the 10 years was in Genius Aulad. It's in Genius Aulad, sorry. To be honest, when I was first introduced to early childhood education, it was in my former school where I was teaching. I was asked to help with the preschool. I was like, oh no, I can't do this. I'm not a preschool teacher. What will happen to my degree? No, I can't do this. I had that feeling. But when I was introduced to it, I was a bit skeptical and at first.
Skeptical. When you say skeptical, what do you mean by skeptical?
Like I mentioned tadi, what happens to my degree? Am I going to change Pampers and then
I see.
teach ABC and teach 1, 2, 3 for the rest of my life? Things like that. But as I said, go through it a couple of months, years, and then when I went into Genius Aulad, I finally see that it's not just ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, to be honest. It's actually quite a challenge because you need to think of how do I make lessons interesting for young children. When you're teaching in a primary or secondary class, you can, for example, you are not that prepared for that day's lesson, so you can go into class, and if you're an English teacher like me, you can ask them to present something about your favorite artist, maybe just for them to practice their speaking skills. But we can't do that with preschool children, you see.
Why is that?
Because they won't be they don't have that much vocab, that much understanding and knowledge to share like that. Hence it was quite a challenge. However, the longer I was in Genius Aulad, the more I understand that the learning is not just in the classroom. So in Genius Aulad we say that lessons are beyond classroom. Education is not restricted to just guidelines. Yes, the MOE has given us a guideline, what we call KSPK, that we have to follow, that we have to abide to. But in Genius Aulad, we mix and match, we change here and there to make it more acceptable for children at this age, inshallah.
I see. But you are still following the guidelines, right?
Of course. We cannot run from the guideline. It is given by the MOE. We have to follow. And you have to understand also that teaching is not just whiteboard and markers and books. Because children at a very young age, they actually learn by what they see and what they hear, what they do. So they learn every day, every hour, every minute, every second. We have to be very, very careful on what we do, because they would imitate us. So that is actually learning. Whatever they see, whatever they hear, whatever they do, that is what they actually learn throughout the day. So yeah, that got me interested into early childhood education. Panjang kan?
Panjang, panjang. I think that's an awesome experience. Through what you said, basically you are saying that children they listen with their eyes.
Yeah. Yeah, yes and no, because you have to understand also that there are different types of learners.
Hmm?
Yeah, I'm sure you're very familiar with auditory learner, kinesthetic learner, and visual learner. Visual learners are those who learn from what they see. That's what you mentioned just now.
Uh-huh.
There's also children who learn from what they hear, and there's auditory learners, and also from what they do, kinesthetic learners. It's very broad. If you look into Howard Gardner's multiple intelligence
Uh-huh.
theory, there's 8 9 theory, types of intelligences, but in preschool we try to focus on the three, the basic ones, auditory, visual, and kinesthetic. So yes and no to your question.
Awesome. So basically the modules that you have in Genius Aulad, it caters for all children.
Of course, yes. You don't get me started to elaborate on our lesson plan.
Okay.
It's
So
going to be a very long process.
okay, what about books? What about books? Do children learn through their books? Because I've been seeing there's many school of thoughts. There's many methodology of teaching. There's also play. But do children learn through their books? At this age, don't you think that they should be playing?
Mm, yes, they actually do learn from their book. Most definitely, they learn from their books. Again, the answer is yes and no. It's not just through books.
Okay.
Okay, because books, they can't stand alone. Books, they need to be supported with a lot of work. Then only the lesson will be successful. They are supposed to be like a support system uh, to whatever that they want to learn, the lesson for that day. The books are supposed to be a support system, a practice, and also to see at the end of the day whether they understand, understand what they have learned. Macam tu. And in Genius Aulad, we have this saying, during our trainings, we will all see, you don't open your book until the last 20 minutes of the lesson. One lesson is around 1 hour, 60 minutes.
Uh-huh.
So the last 20 minutes is when you can finally open the book. Before that, the first 40 minutes, don't you dare open the book.
Oh yeah. So what
Yes.
happens? What happens? 2/3 of at the beginning.
Um, I'm not going to explain the process in detail, but we have things like what do you call that? Singing. We have games. We have some play-based teaching before you finally get into the books.
Oh, that's interesting. Play-based
Yeah.
teaching.
Sorry?
That's very interesting. Play-based teaching.
Yes, of course, play-based teaching is very, very interesting. But we don't focus on just play lah. We have to incorporate it into the lesson. The market nowadays, there are some places where they really market play. There are also some places where they really market classroom education. Here in Genius Outlet, I think we try to mix both of them together, so that although they are in a classroom, we have to make the lessons beyond the classroom.
I see. So Genius Aulad is trying their level best to incorporate both worlds.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Best of both worlds. Like maybe I can explain a little on what happens in Genius Aulad's lesson classroom. Sure. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Teachers who are listening, please correct me if I'm wrong. So before in Genius Aulad, before we open our book, we would have to lead the children's interest, their understanding into the topic, so that they will to trigger their curiosity. Whoosh, that's very heavy kan when we say
Heavy. Very heavy.
curiosity. Yes, but to explain the simple words kan, I'll give you an example. Example, you are teaching penmanship, letter M. Okay, letter M. How do we teach letter M? We just give them a worksheet and ask them to write. That will be too plain. And remember just now I mentioned that the visual, auditory, and
Uh-huh.
kinesthetic type of learners. Basically, if you give them a worksheet, you ask them to write. That's basically just kinesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
They see visual and then they write kinesthetic. What happens to those who learn best through auditory, through listening, through speaking? Okay, so that's why in the lesson, okay, for example, we're teaching letter M. Before we give the worksheet, we would have to go through, for example, first for start, teacher will give a picture card. A picture card of a monkey, for example. Okay, look at this, children. What is this? It's a monkey. What is this? It's mommy. What is this? It's a mop. What is this? It's a what else, M? It's a machine, for example. So there's so many M letter pictures that starts with letter M.
Mm-hmm.
So then teachers will show the picture, and after they show, basically that one it touches on the visual learners. You
Okay.
see?
Okay.
And then once they have finished that, they're going to maybe listen to songs. Listen to songs. Maybe songs that are related to M. When teaching M, I like to use the song "Mary Had a Little Lamb." Do you know the song?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, I think everyone does.
Of course, can.
Yeah.
Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb, its fleece was white as snow. So the M, only M word in the song is actually Mary. But
Right. Yes.
but
Yes. But
baru perasan kan? In GENIUS AULAD, I teach the teachers on how to change the lyrics of the song. Uh,
ah,
I love doing this with the teachers. You know, I would give them a few minutes and then give them a song and then they basically just change the song to their own song. Example, kan, for Mary Had a Little Lamb, what I've done before, if I can remember. Mary has a mighty mum, mighty mum, mighty mum. Mary has a mighty mum who makes her minty mousse cake. So there are so
wow.
many letter M's in the song. So
Uh-huh.
what they can do is see we are touching the those who are auditory
Auditory.
learners.
Hmm?
Betul? And then for those who are visual, how would this song benefit them? An extra mile a teacher can take is by writing the lyrics on a margin paper and then paste it on the whiteboard. So at the end of the song, after they sang it for like 2-3 times, they can get the children to take a marker pen, and then go write, circle all the M's in the lyric. See, so you've already touched the auditory, you touch those who are visual, who can see, those who are kinesthetic when they circle the M's. So that one, okay, contoh lagi lah. Once you have finished that, okay, you think that there's not enough activity for those who are kinesthetic learners.
Uh-huh.
You have touched the auditory, you have touched the visual. So what teachers can do is before they give the book still, the 40 minutes can, they can actually ask them to trace letters. Okay, show me your pointer finger, your pointer, and then trace on the table because our tables are a bit coarse, kasar.
Okay. Okay.
So they can write on the table. Go down, up, around, and down, up, around, and down to make letter M. So they're going to repeat that a few times on the table. Okay, now let's find another coarse surface. Maybe on your friend's back. So basically, they're going to turn their backs to their friend. Okay, now Ali, write on Amina's back. So they're going to write, go down, down, up and down, around and down, up, around and down to make letter M. They're going to repeat and repeat and repeat.
I
So that
see.
will be kinesthetic learners.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, we have touched all that before they go finally go into the book.
And that's just only 20 minutes.
Yes, that's only 20 minutes for the books. So by the time they have finished all these activities, and then they finally open the book, they are basically ready to write. And they when children, they know what they're doing, they're confident with themselves, they will find it very easy to do the homework, the activity.
That's a very interesting point you say. When you
Mm-hmm.
say that when they are confident, baru dia rasa senang kan. I think
Betul?
it goes the same with adults. When they know
Mm-hmm.
what they're doing and they're confident in what they're doing, then they're happy doing what they do.
Betul, betul. You're correct.
Hmm.
It's very, very true. This concept has been like embedded in the children from young lah. So we need to teach them that you know, things may come difficult, may be difficult, but you know, if the process is correct, if you go through every aspect that you're supposed to touch, inshallah, in the end product will be good, marvelous.
Inshallah, inshallah. So like you mentioned earlier, books are not the main teaching tool. So it's play based, and then when they're comfortable, they know the letters, and then you turn them to books at the end of the day.
Betul.
But
Mhm.
okay, it's interesting that you say you use kinesthetic sand, whiteboards.
Kinetic sand, Azhar.
Sorry, kinetic sand. Kinetic sand.
Yes.
Okay, I know that Genius Outlet has been around for almost 21 years. Okay, you have all the amenities available for the children. But what about,
Okay, where are you getting at?
no, the thing is you have kinetic sand, but what about parents yang they don't have whiteboards, they don't have markers or kinetic sand at home? Teaching the children at home will be the same as teaching in classroom, if you know what I mean, kan?
Hmm. Of course, it's not. It will never ever be the same. Teachers has maybe 5-10 years of experience teaching. We as parents, we have experience in other aspects, in other jobs. Maybe not as teachers, but it will not be the same. However, you have to bear in mind that the objective will still be the same. Example tadi lah, if you want to teach letter M, the objective of a teacher in school, also objective of a parent at home, is the same, to teach letter M, for them to be able to write letter M. For example, just now we touched on how they can use flashcards, betul? Flashcards. But instead of using flashcards, picture cards, you can use the real thing. That would be more fun. You know what? Go around now Ali, mommy is going to teach you letter M today, but before we start, I want us to go around the house and find things that starts with letter M. So they're gonna be running around. Let's go to the kitchen and then open the fridge. And what can you find? Do you think, what Azhar you think you can find in the fridge that starts with letter M?
Monkey.
Can you find a monkey in the fridge?
Yes, sometimes she puts plush monkeys in the fridge.
Come on, Azhar. I mean, you're a parent. What can you find in the kitchen that starts with letter M? The fridge, I mean.
In the fridge, milk.
Correct. You can go and take the milk. So milk, very good. This is milk. Milk starts with letter M. Okay, now what else starts with letter M? Let's go to the store. What can you find in our storeroom that starts with letter M? How about a mop? And then we need to find more examples, right? Let's go outside and look at our porch. What do we have in our porch? Daddy's motorcycle. Motorcycle. M, motorcycle. And then maybe one last one. Ooh, okay. If you go to the bathroom, and what do you find in front of the door? A mat.
Ah.
So without realizing, you have actually gone through like the first step of the teaching session, where instead of you teaching using flashcards and picture cards, you teach using the actual things, which is much, much better, because children can actually, mark a pen. You can actually touch it, and they can actually feel this texture. So kinesthetic, visual, marker pen, all three intelligences, the three types of learners are enhanced in that one activity.
That reminds me, even in childcare, they call it maujud, right? That means
yes.
real things, and you present to them barang-barang yang maujud. That means real things. It's even better. So how long should this session take before you go to flashcards and what? Does it have to have a specific timeline?
No, not really. It really depends on you. If let's say, since it's a school holiday, right? So
Mm-hmm.
there's no online lessons and stuff like that. It can be like a whole day activity. For example, you can say, okay, for today, I want you to find 10 items that starts with letter M. So for the whole day, they will be doing their own stuff. They'll be watching TV. They would be, playing some games. They will be playing with their brothers and sisters. But at the same time, whenever they see the M word, the stuff that starts with letter M, they would put it aside, for example, or they can tell the mom, or maybe the mom can actually enhance the learning by every time he says he found something, the mom takes a whiteboard and then write it down. So M, okay, what have you found? You have found mop, so then you write down mop. And then you have found what is it? It's not motorcycle, so the mom writes down motorcycle. So at the same time, while they actually learn the name of the words, the vocab, they can also see, oh, this is how the word mop spells like, what the word motorcycle spells like, looks like,
Mm-hmm.
although they don't know how to spell.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Sekejap, I nak touch sikit lagi.
Right. Okay.
Remember you mentioned just now the kinetic sand. I mentioned kinetic sand, right?
Mhm.
How do you find kinetic sand at home? It's very difficult to find kinetic sand nowadays because you need to go, you buy online because you can't find it in stores.
Exactly.
What you can use instead is go to your kitchen, get a pail, a basin. You open a packet of salt. Lah murah je salt ni, it's like 60-70 cents, I think, 1 ringgit maybe, salt. You cut open the salt, you pour the whole thing into the basin. Ta-da! You have sand. So with that sand, with that salt,
Mm-hmm.
take your child's finger and ask him to trace. Go down, up, around, and down, up, around, and down to make letter M. So you already have sand in your at home actually.
Ah, that's
Mm-hmm.
very interesting. So make sure your basin is small, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
We have to make sure the basin is small, not those large basin. If not, you'll be like using kilos of salt.
Yes. That is up to you actually. If you have abundance of salt, why not?
What about songs? What are...
Songs, you can actually go on YouTube. YouTube is your new best friend. When it comes to songs, there are so many songs on YouTube. You can find it from so many sources. But be careful of things that might not be appropriate for children. Always remember that screen time should always be guided, should always be monitored. It's not supposed to be, you give a screen, you give a gadget to your child and then you leave them be. You can't do that. It has to be guided. Okay, so I think just now I downloaded a song that starts with letter M. Which one here? Which
Oh
one?
yes, definitely.
Can I share?
Yep.
Okay,
Please.
let me share one song that I found on YouTube just now. Wait. It's a very simple song. Um, am I screen sharing, Azhar?
Not yet. There you go. Yep.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Don't look at that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it? Okay, here. Okay. That's not listen.
Baru je nak layan lagu. Okay, okay. Betul. I think YouTube
What
is
I'm
also...
trying to show is not the song.
Mhm.
Thank you YouTube for the song. I can't remember who that was. Tapi wait, hold on. What I'm trying to say is that basically there are so many songs online that you can find.
Uh-huh.
Something like what you saw just now is simple, yet I think it's kind of fun, wasn't it?
Yes, it is. It's
You're
very,
getting into the groove, can?
children and music. Faham-faham je lah.
Okay. um, um, so basically, I think you get it right. How you can incorporate the lessons into at home compared to in schools.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can you see that?
Yep, it's very eye-opening.
Yeah.
Very, very eye-opening. Can it be this? Can the same be done for storybooks, Teacher Farah?
Yeah, why not? Storybooks are I think in this era of technology, right? People tend to forget the most important factor that a child needs. Do you know what it is?
Mm, attention?
Yeah, attention, undivided attention, and also of course your time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, time. Um, I know it sounds kind of petty, time, a lot of time je, but it's very important for the children. They're growing up, yeah. Um, for example, how many of us still read bedtime stories to our children at night? Wait. Okay, kejap lagi. Okay, mommy has work to do. Mommy has work to do. After this, I'll read you the story. And then once you enter the room, dah tidur dah. You know, let's we tend to forget that very tiny thing that is time. um I remember my parents used to, teach me the simplest thing. For example, why is morning so bright? Why is night so dark? Example from the change from night to day. Why is the sun brighter than the moon? It's not something that you learn in school, but something that you learn actually at home whenever your parents have free time, or while they are doing gardening, they look outside and they see, oh, do you know why the sun is out? Those times are now being replaced by technology, by what we call our best friend now, gadgets. Betul?
Betul. I can totally relate.
Okay. um a little tip lah for parents. Let's not use what do you call gadgets as babysitters. They're not our babysitters. We are supposed to be the one teaching the children. Although we don't have time, spare a little bit of time. Okay, I have some homework for you to do later, but then we go into the topic first. What was the question just now? Storybooks. Yeah, storybooks.
Storybooks.
Yeah. Although we have gadgets, yeah, can they tell stories like how we tell stories? For example, do they have the same facial expressions? Would they have the same intonation, like how we humans can do? Will it be the same?
Definitely not. They're gadgets.
Can,
Don't have that.
True. For example, I like to use this example whenever I have a talk like this. Do you know the story Goldilocks and the Three Bears?
Yep. Of course.
Can we know that story? I don't think children nowadays knows those stories. They only know stories that they see on TV. All those Disney. No offense, I love Disney. But
exposure is more on that.
Yes.
Rather than rhymes. Yeah, classic rhymes. Can.
Yes. Okay, you remember the part where the three bears came back from their walk? You remember they have this porridge. Mommy cooks the porridge, but the porridge was too hot, so they had to take a walk to let the porridge get cold. Remember? Yep. That's when Goldilocks came in and mess around. Okay, this part where the three bears just came home and then they saw that their porridge was eaten. So I'm gonna act it out. Okay, bear with me. 1, 2, 3. Someone has been eating my porridge, said Father Bear in a deep, loud voice. Someone has been eating my porridge, said Mother Bear in a sweet, soft voice. And in a sobbing voice, Baby Bear said, someone has been eating my porridge. and finished it all. Okay, back to reality, everybody. So I don't know how ugly I look just now, but it's
You did great. You
okay
did great.
because I'm teaching my children, so I don't really mind how I look like. But do you see that there's a change in voice whenever I change the character? When I mentioned the father bear punya section, it's a very deep and loud voice. When it's the mother bear's turn, it's a very sweet and soft voice. And when it's the baby, I try to have that sobbing voice. Yeah, so those are the things that maybe gadgets can't do, but we as humans, we can. And do you see the expressions on my face?
Yes.
Yeah, it was ugly, but you can see it changing, right? And then did you see that the movements, some hand movements?
Yeah.
When you tell
The father,
stories?
you did like this.
Yes, father bear and then mother bear and then baby bear sobbing. So those are the things that gadgets can never replace. Yeah. So the challenge that I want to give you guys tonight.
Not
Yes.
just the expression. I think the memories that's implanted to the children, it cannot be replaced by gadgets as well. Nanti sampai ketua, they'll be like you. Yeah, like you said, my parents, they will remember that. Macam, oh, my parents did this when I was young. So that's very, very valuable.
Yes, betul. You know why I tell a story like that? Because my mom, when I was younger, she told me the story exactly like that.
Exactly. That's what I meant.
Yeah, we have this Goldilocks and the Three Bears book. I think it's gone now. Koyak ke and anak-anak ke. But yes, I remember when we still had that book, my mother would tell a story exactly like that. So hence, whenever I don't have kids, I'm not married, but it's okay. But when I tell my children in school, that is how I tell the story. Yeah.
Awesome. You
So
want the challenge? Yeah.
Yes, the challenge, that I want to give to all parents or anybody who has children at home. Tak kisahlah anak ke, niece or nephew, whoever. Tell the story tonight. Take 10 minutes off your time to tell them a story. Before they sleep, when they are in bed and they want to sleep, you have to read them a story. Take 10 minutes and tell them one story. Okay?
Okay.
Challenge accepted?
I'm asking. So parents are challenge accepted?
Excuse me, are you a parent, Azhar?
I am.
Challenge accepted?
Challenge accepted.
Okay, cool. So that will be your task for today. I think that is all that I want to share when it comes to how to make school books alive at home. Do you have any other questions, Azhar?
I do have. I just have one question. When we have activities with our children, there are certain development that we want them to progress in. Is that correct? Parents lagi dekat rumah, sometimes they feel dah ajar ni like 1 week. I mean not 1 week. Like say like 3 days or 4 days, they're teaching the same thing, but the result they don't get the result from the child. So as parents, they become demotivated. So what do you have to say, or what's your advice? Sometimes actually the parents' expectations are high actually, so they get demotivated. So what's your advice as a teacher?
I think this happens also in schools. In GENIUS AULAD we have what do you call that? One-to-one reading. So reading, they don't happen in class. They happen outside the classroom. So while the teachers are teaching in class, so when it's not the heavy teaching part, the reading teachers will call upon the child one by one outside the classroom and do reading. Okay, so that's what happens in GENIUS AULAD. Yes, face to face, one by one. So during that reading session, you will have children who you're stuck in one page for a couple of days, maybe a week. So our suggestion is that, how bored we are teaching the same page. Imagine the children who have to read the same page. And whenever they couldn't get it, how we tend to get angry. We tend to sound, we don't show it, we don't really pukul ke apa ke, but then we show it in our intonation, like frustrated, like a sigh maybe. So those are the things yang we feel bored, they feel even more bored because they have to read and they have to accept whatever yang the negativity that we show whenever we get upset. Yeah.
Mhm.
So hence I would suggest don't stick on one thing for too long. For example, just like if you read one page and they couldn't really read the page well, after 3 days, move on to the next page.
I see. I
Mm.
see. Even if they don't
Okay.
progress on that page.
Okay, when you say they don't progress, make sure you have tried every single possibility. So
Okay.
you don't know that your children, what type of learners they are. So you have done the reading where they see and then they repeat after you. Oh, tak jadi, it doesn't work. So have you tried like maybe having the words written in a flashcard repeat a few times? Does it work? If it doesn't, you take a piece of paper, you write the word down. For example, they really cannot get the word family, for example. So you write the word family down on the piece of paper and then take their finger, ask them to trace family, the F, the A, the M, the
Mhm.
I, the L, the Y. So basically, oh, okay, this doesn't work. The visual auditory repetition doesn't work. Writing with finger kinesthetic doesn't work. After 3 days, move on to the next page.
I see. I see.
Mm.
That's okay. Okay. Totally
Mm-hmm.
understand. Any last words? I think we've come to our the end of the session. And any last words from you, Miss Farah?
Um, I think I said quite a lot tadi, but to summarize lah,
Okay.
I would like to see that parents don't worry because there is an inner teacher in all of us. You know, Azhar, in yourself pada teacher juga. See, that's why you took the what do you call the Permata program lah,
Yep.
kan? Just
Yep.
to enhance yourself as a parent.
Exactly.
So everybody has their inner teacher in their in yourself, and we may not be as experienced as the child's teachers. You have 5-10 years experience. Our experience is in other apa ni, in other forte, but then with some effort, some tips, some tricks that you can learn from videos like this or from anything you can find online.
Mhm.
We can actually be a good teacher for our children at home, and remember that since we're talking about books, right? Books are not supposed to be the main teaching tool. It is just a support system, and should be accompanied by other fun methods, methods that touches all the learning needs, the auditory, the visual, the kinesthetic. You have to touch all of that to ensure that the learning actually happens. And one thing that I always say at the end of any talker meeting, but I like to say this: children see, children do. Yeah, so be careful of what we do, because our children is always our mirror. Or whatever we do, they will imitate, whether it is what they see, what they hear, or what we do and they see. Those are the things that actually teaches them. So if you want them to be, good adults, a good exemplary, we have ourselves have to be a good example for our children.
I
Okay.
totally agree. I totally agree. Thank you so much, Teacher Farah, for the valuable insight. We've come to the end of the session. Inshallah, we'll see you soon. Oh, so next week we'll have another session. The session will be a very special guest as well. The next session will be on Tuesday. Tuesday
Mm-hmm.
next week.
I
So,
think so. Yes.
dear parents, please, keep connected with us. Follow us, and inshallah, we'll see everyone next week. Again, thank you so much, Miss Farah. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye,
Don't
parents.
forget our
Thank you.
promise, okay?
Okay. Inshallah, inshallah. I'll remember the
Okay.
challenge. Okay, parents. Thank you, Teacher Farah. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.